Have you ever gone to your refrigerator and actually picked up produce and looked on the bottom and seen where it came from? These particular cherry tomatoes are a product of Mexico, and these blueberries, they're a product of Argentina. So, why are we supporting these big farms out of this country? Why aren't we going to our local farms and supporting those who live in our own community? That is the premise behind what is known as the local food movement. This movement of going away from big farms from Mexico and Argentina that some of our big grocery stores, these came from Aldi, are supporting. The history behind this movement started actually back in 1971 when President Nixon appointed Earl Butz to Secretary of Agriculture. That Secretary Butz proceeded to basically deregulate policies and allow big farms to come in and export crops such as corn and soy. This made smaller farms kind of go down to one crop, or potentially they went out of business altogether because they couldn't keep up with demands. And then you had big companies with huge fields of corn that were hiring these farmers that they had put out of business to be on their payroll and farm. It also affected farmers in countries such as Mexico because we were exporting such and have been exporting such large amounts of economic crops such as corn and soy into those countries. Those smaller farmers there have even gone out of business, and that has caused some of the immigration issues even in this country. So the creation of the local food movement is in a pushback towards these big farms. And we're seeing a rise in specialty farms that are doing organic and sustainable farming in their local communities. Now, to be an organic farm, the food must be free of all types of pesticides and only use natural products, such as things like spraying garlic on the crops to prevent disease spread or bug infestations. Typically, these larger farms, in order to get things to grow fast, they spray pesticides on them to make them grow in a shortened time frame. Now, one thing to note is being labeled organic is controlled by the government. Now, to be sustainable, a crop must be kind to the environment, basically meaning that it doesn't rape the soil that it's grown in or be overgrown in too many seasons. There's also implications on how the workers are treated that harvest those crops, that is done in a humane manner. And then also the animals that could potentially be exposed to the crops, it's nothing that's going to harm them. Economic implications of the local food movement. So basically, we have this idea that cheap food is okay for us. For years, we were able to purchase cheap crops, but these crops from these large companies were riddled with additives and sugar, and it has created some of the obesity issues we have today. So yes, sometimes local, organic, sustainable food can be expensive, but obesity and the issues that it causes are typically even more expensive. So what can you do to help with the local food movement? You can participate in a CSA, which is a community supported agricultural program. I actually participate in one, and for $10 I get a bag each week from this produce stand called Emily's Produce in our town. You don't know what's going to be in it, but it's fresh fruits, vegetables, sometimes even local organic free range eggs. Essentially, they take orders and they figure out, using that money, what they can provide. Also, you can support your local government and incentives targeted to support small farms, and you can commit to buying products not grown by these large corporate farms. So, in conclusion, food is our way of life. You should have a say in where it comes from, and we need to stop using big farm industries. There is a saying, once in your life you may need a doctor, a lawyer, or a policeman, but 3 times a day you will need a farmer.